guys. Once again, congratulations everyone for getting onto this call. You guys have achieved an incredible thing this month for Repromote. So congratulations, especially to those who have been working in the business for a long time. We all know how difficult it is to get new customers when you've exhausted your warm market. So congratulations. So tonight we have the absolute pleasure of Linda and James Evenden sharing the call with us tonight. And I'm really not going to talk very much other than to say these guys have been a great inspiration to me over the last several years. Linda joined our business in 2008. Around 9 years ago, and won franchisee of the year, I believe, that year. And we were like, who is this woman? We've never even heard of her before. But she certainly made us sit up and start noticing. Linda has had some incredible impact in our industry. And it was probably around 7 years ago that you really sort of grabbed this business and started to run with it. But even more than that, probably in the last half a dozen years or so, you've had astronomical growth in the business, you and James together, like we've never seen in this industry before. And it's been super impressive to watch. You've really created that sense of community. And what I'm hoping tonight is that you'll really share some of that. James, you've been in the business for 2 years yourself. You eventually saw the light and came on board. And I certainly know that a lot of Linda's success could not have been achieved without you by her side. You're a QNMD in your own right and a 12 club. And to those of you, to be a 12 club and not yet be an NMD is actually showing a really stable and lasting business. So it's a really fantastic thing to see you have achieved that as well. So I'm gonna hand over to you guys. I'm just gonna let you take the floor. But I really wanted to start from that point in looking at the early days. Can you tell us a little bit about those early days, Linda? What inspired you to join the business, and perhaps in those early struggling years, what made you really stick at it?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me. What a beautiful introduction, and congrats to everyone who stepped up to be on the call. That's just awesome. Hopefully we can deliver something that can help you on the next part of your journey, wherever that is. I first started, I was pretty closed-minded to the business. I didn't really understand it, but what really got me was, I loved the products. I was already sharing them with everyone that I cared about. I kind of demanded that they had to be on Juice Plus, mainly my family and some friends. And it was a financially fearful time that made me be more open-minded, because we moved back from America. We were suddenly on one income, and it felt sudden, it wasn't, but I suddenly found myself with 3 kids under 3.5, and life was, I felt that life was a lot harder than I wanted it to be or expected it to be. I was very much in this mode of, this is not how it's supposed to be. Something has to give here. And at that time, I couldn't see much light at the end of the tunnel. I knew James had to start from scratch in a new career. And he was working 6 days a week and getting home at 7:15. And you know what? I really started this business for the promise of $300 extra a month. And I never forget that. It's the story that I always tell, is the extra $300 to $500 a month will attract many people into this business. And in a nurturing place where your vision can grow, that's definitely what happened for me. So I saw my sponsor, who's Lauren Slocum. I just saw her gathering really fun, smart people from all over the world, going to conferences. She was very good at creating FOMO, really good at doing that. And I was kind of a bit bored and stuck at home and going crazy with the wiggles and the kids. And I just thought, this is even more interesting than what I'm doing every day. So I'm just going to dabble and see how I go. And the thought of giving myself a pay rise every single month, honestly, Tamara, that's what kept me in the game. On the hardest days, even when Nat and I found each other and a friendship really early on, we kind of put ourselves in a little mastermind group, Nat and Crocky and I, and we sort of said, well, we're the same, and we all are fired up, like, how can we figure this out? And it was just that promise of every single month, if I kept doing just what I was doing, more of what I was doing, that keyword consistency that I know is hard. But if I was just to do that, I could give myself a pay rise every single month. I've always been driven. I've always wanted limitless. And I just understood that. If I didn't understand the rest of the business, I understood if I just did 5-1. Remember back then it was 5 customers and 1 new team got you a bonus back then. I didn't understand anything else, but my God, I understood 5-1 and to never stop, getting that. So in those first foundation years, that built my business while my vision could grow. And of course, we've been taught by the best, Jeff Roberti, who's the most consistent with the big long-term vision. And he always said, give it 3 to 5 years. This business needs 3 to 5 years of every bit of consistency and commitment that you can possibly devote to it, whether that's 5 hours a week, 10, 20, whatever that looks like. And that's what I did. I always had a long-term vision. I didn't expect this to be an overnight success. And I understood that I was building a business that potentially could pay me and our family for the rest of our lives. Even though, do you know what kept me going? Even though I knew, everyone thought I was crazy. Everyone thought, what the hell is she doing? Well, it makes her happy. At least she's happy. And, she seems to enjoy it. But no one really took me seriously. He's smiling because he's definitely part of that group. He knew that it made me happy. He was always supportive of it. But I don't think he ever financially thought that it was really going to pay off.
Oh, I disagree with that a little. I get to speak up, don't I? No, I'd listen, I could see the people you're surrounded by. Lauren Slocum, she was a smart girl. And certainly then in the early days, I still remember meeting Danny Martin. And, that gave me some really good belief in the business, because at the time I figured, he was part of our business, or we're his or whatever. But I since learned we weren't. 18 legs sidelined to Danny, but he still took us out for a meal, and he's very generous with his time. And, I could see these bits and pieces. And I think with anything you approach, it's never going to be one, massive, huge, holistic thing hits in one day, right? It's a stacking effect. And so I'd seen people like Lauren, people like Danny. I had belief in the product, and certainly, had that belief in Linda, that she was going to get on board with something that really did make sense. So I think that's my recollection on it anyway.
My recollection is, and this is what I want to really give you some of this honest wisdom behind the curtain kind of stuff. Your check does not equal your efforts for the first few years. That's the catch of this business. That's the catch. And if you can understand that and get past that and know that one day there's a tipping point where you're going to do way less and be rewarded way more. And that's what kept me going. So in the beginning, James definitely would see my check and kind of be like, wow.
It's a lot of effort for a little check.
Didn't you spend this much to go there and do this? And you've all got probably partners, husbands, so some other people kind of questioning you on that. And I want you to kind of just have your little grin of, I know something you don't, and I'm going all the way with this. And one day I was just kind of, he'd like pat me on the head, off you go, have fun, and it lights you up. So I kind of secretly was like, one day I'm going to out-earn you. So
it's good she makes herself crack up, isn't it?
So everyone thinks you're crazy, right? Who feels that at the moment? That people around you don't understand you? Good, because you need to be abnormal. You're not here to settle for normal. You're not an entrepreneur doing a network marketing business with other crazy people in this tribe to be normal. You didn't choose to settle for crumbs, so you are going to have resistance. That's the nature of it. Whip it on. Be proud of it. Be excited about it. You're attracting that. So, smash that. That has to spur you on more, not deter you. This is where you get more clear about who you are, why you're here, why you want it, and just watch me. So use that as your fuel, okay? Don't apologize, don't explain. You don't have to do any of that stuff. Just, you're the cat that's got the cream. Look at my grin, right? I want you to have that even before it's all there. I want you to have that, because if you stay consistent in this, you care enough about other people, you cannot fail in this business. That's the other thing that I knew. I'd heard it, I believed it, I hung on to that. I knew that I had a work ethic, I knew that I had big vision and drive, and it was just consistency was that third key that I knew I could rock if I just kept focused on building for the next month. So that's what got me through the early days. And, I never put the hunger down, because I do have big vision, and I love that we're in an industry where there is no limit. As soon as you think you've found something great, someone will do it greater, faster, with 50 more kids that's, I don't know, blind, and with just all of these different challenges that you think, prevents you. So there's always someone that's going to come along to show you what's possible. And I just want to say this, the comparison game, forget it. Beautiful Jade, I can see you on there. She said it in her NMD speech. It's the thief of joy. She said it so beautifully, so profoundly for someone so young, that we're not here to run anyone else's race. You're here to find, you're here in our community where you can grow safely. Now, that mightn't sound very nice for men. Men mightn't need that. But women, a place where we can grow at our own pace, where we can be raised up and recognised, where we know that we're enough, and that we can safely start to bloom and find who we are, and test out new boundaries and remember. That's priceless. To me, that is still priceless. I think that's incredible what we offer, a safe place for that. So the world needs that. The world needs your voice, not you trying to be someone else. Or if you want to play the comparison game, here's my suggestion. I love the comparison game because I don't use it to beat myself up. I use it to go, holy shit, that's what's possible. I thought this was possible, but now I know that's possible. Oh my God. Do you know what I mean? It's someone else is setting a new standard for themselves. I'm not going to look at that and go, oh, my standard's crap. I'm crap. Why am I so bad? I'm so low. Mine's so shitty. I'm going to go, no. Holy crap, that's amazing. What do I need to know? Who do I need to become? What actions do I need to start taking? What do I need to make a priority in life right now? You just ask better questions. When you are inspired is so different to when you are using it to beat yourself up. Would you agree? One is really masterful fuel, really smart fuel, very intelligent. The other one is just your pity party to keep you safe and small. And you don't want to be there. No one, that's not inspiring. No one wants to join that either, right? So it's about find inspiration in others so you can shine your light brighter about what inspires you in and on this journey. Yeah. The other thing that I heard about the comparison game that I think is really important, you can wish to have someone else's version or success or life or results, but you've got to have their whole life. You've got to step into all of it, all of the conditions, the family, the values, the responsibilities. Like, you don't get to just pick and choose one little section of their life to step into. And when I look at that, I go, gosh, I really don't envy anyone. I love our life that we get to set up. And that is, honestly, my friends, I think that is the best gift of this business, is that you get to decide everything every single day. You are your own independent virtual franchise. You owe no one anything, not your upline, downline, sideline, and they owe you nothing. Not a thing. You're all here. You're all independent virtual franchisees. Your only job and your only responsibility is to be your best franchisee. And I don't know about, your team at the moment, but I know it's just a reminder that I love to give in our team all the time, that I felt an enormous weight lift from me when I really took that advice on board, that I'm not responsible for anyone else's success or non-success in this business, they're 100% responsible. We've all got the same products, we've got the same marketing plan, we've got the same virtual office, we've got the same training. Everyone's got the same resources. How we use it is going to be up to us. Yeah, so I think that it's really important to kind of play at they're the rules of the game. You're 100% responsible for your success. You owe me nothing, I owe you nothing. I think that's very important to set the rules of the game and those boundaries in the game plan chat right up front. When you're, learning about who your new team may be, what their hope and dream is, what success looks like for them in their first 30, 60, 90 days. And then, yes, you can cheer them on, but ultimately it's all going to be up to them, right? And there's no pressure and no expectations. Because, here's the other part that when I was thinking about what might be useful to share is everyone has to go at their own pace, and we compete with so much. The great question is, how do we make Juice Plus, how do we make our business, our tribe, our culture, what we have to offer, how do we compete against everything else in life that is going to distract our new team, our established team, our leaders? How do we be more compelling, more fun, more engaging, more rewarding? And that question, I think, is really important, because around that question, you begin to shape how do I compete? What can I offer that life is not offering them? Is it reward and recognition? Is it a reminder that they are enough? Is it fun? Is it no expectations? Is it personal development? Is it, a health journey? Is it a tribe that's got their back? There's so many different ways that we can compete against all the distractions in life. And I think this is where you can bring your leadership style to what you want to create, whether it's big or small at the moment. That's the foundation that I wanted to build on, was how do we be irresistible? How do we get people's time at 8, 9 o'clock at night? How do we win the competition, to really get people more engaged and making this business and their dreams a priority? So with that end result in mind, working backwards, I just live by the mantra of just ask better questions. There's always a better question. And that was such a compelling question for me, to have a think about what does success look like for them, and how do we compete? How do we deliver that for people really early on, especially in those first 90 days, which I think is it's the danger zone. It's the danger zone because people are full of enthusiasm, excitement, expectations. If we get really crystal clear on who they are and what they want and what success will look like to them in the first 30, 60, 90 days, and we really help them deliver that for themselves, that's when I see them stick around. That's when they get hungry and start to build vision, and that's when they want to tell their friends and create the same success for those right behind them. So duplication in that is really key. So, I used to have people come out of a fast track exhausted, and I found that I was not duplicatable, because my drive and passion I knew was abnormal and scary for too many people. So they would finish, I would drag them over the line, and they were just exhausted or terrified or overwhelmed or all of the above, and they would just run. I wouldn't see them after SDVF. So there was another big gap in my business of how now to build vision for their own leadership and to stick around and start to look at SC. And to be honest, you would have seen we've really moved on and don't talk about positions anymore, because positions don't pay us. It's clubs. It's create an SDVF factory, which is pretty easy, and then just get obsessed about qualifying. That's the jackpot. That's the jackpot money. That's the money that's going to give you all of the choices for the rest of your life. And ultimately that's the choices that people, are really going to say yes to a business like this. So
That's beautiful. Oh my goodness, it's so good.
I'll take a
I
breath.
didn't have enough hands to write down. So it was about 7 years ago, Linda, that things really shifted up another notch for you. Do you want to tell everyone what happened?
Do you know what? There was no one thing. It was always a grind. There was no special moment or one thing. It was a series of, like, I wish it was, but it was just a series of, you know, I call them the blessings. Of no, I can't do it for everyone, thinking that I had to do it my way and the hard way, and then finally being semi-teachable. And then the really big shift in my business was between 39 Club and then hearing again inspiration that people were reaching 100 Club in 12 months when I had just slogged it out for 4 years, giving it everything that I could to get to 39 Club. I was intrigued. I was inspired. I was, wow, if success leaves clues, who do I need to become? What do I need to learn here? What can I do differently? And I had that paradigm shift. I had a very different mindset shift on how to be very proud of our business and how to really to understand that most people will join a business like this for $500 extra a month. Some people have a vision of really impacting people's health and being a nurturer and really creating change at the grassroots level. That's a section of our business, whereas that's all I was focusing on. So I was missing a huge amount of different sorts of people who would join a business like this. I was focusing on one very small segment and missing out on so many. And to be honest, I was making one right and one wrong. And when I stopped that, that, wow, you know, this business has a place for everyone, and who knows why, you know, get curious on why people might join a business like this. That's when the floodgates opened, because my mind opened. And being taught to be very proud of what we have, I think, is key. You know, it's those 4 beliefs. I'm always doing a check-in on where I'm at with that. The products, the business, the company, and self. Yeah, self goes up and down, depends what time of day, what time of month, like that's always going to fluctuate, right? But I'm always building these other 3 of the company, of the products, and our industry. There was a time there years ago where Simon even knows this. I don't know if he's here presenting in Queensland, isn't he? But I remember thinking, no, I wouldn't go to an event with other network marketers. Oh my God, I'm not one of them. They'll get me, you know, or, oh, well, I might have to look at the industry, or I honestly was that close-minded that I was scared of that. So to do 360 and now to be presenting in those industry arenas is amazing. I'm so excited and proud and honoured to be full circle on that. And honestly, that's where things change for me.
So I'm just going to move sideways over to James for a second, because I honestly believe that you cannot do a business like this, which we know is built in snatches of time, nooks and crannies of the day. I honestly don't think that you can do it without your partner, whether your partner is actively involved in the business or not. But James, what you've been around for years. What was it that sort of made you go, okay, I'm in?
I'm in. So probably I'm in was 2 stages. I'm in with what Linda's doing, and then I'm in personally. So they're 2 different. You know, I remember her ringing me when she won Franchise of the Year, and she was so excited, and I didn't really even know what it was. I thought, but she's excited, so that's good. Must be big, fantastic. And you know, clearly seeing that and seeing things start to. Seeing the company, seeing the people, you were there, you know, all of that. And wow, this is bigger than just, you know, some fruit and veggies in a capsule. That certainly had me committed to whatever Linda was going to do with this. Me personally, you know, I had to see some big money rolling. I'll be honest, I did.
How big?
Well, I had a strong enough career and was, making, some big money. And so to turn my head from that, I was going to have to see something that was more compelling. And, I did. At that sort of same time, it was becoming pretty apparent to me the price I was paying to get that money was going to do me in. I couldn't keep up that race, and no matter how hard I wanted to, I couldn't sustain at that pace and the stress levels I was, trading to get that money. And it became very clear to me. It was actually, right on 9 months ago, no, a little over. So it was October, a year and a bit ago, however long that is, 18 months. And something went down at work. And at the same time, we went out to the US, the conference where I'd been 4 times. So that was nothing new, but that was the 100 Club for Linda. We went down to Florida and hung out with Jeff Roberti for a bit. And I thought, oh my God, these people are having so much more fun than me. And they are truly going to leave me in their dust in terms of making money. So I'm a mug if I stayed it any longer. And it was like, I couldn't even get my head back into work when I came back. It was done. Because I truly saw there's unlimited earning potential and there is the lifestyle you want. Who doesn't want both, right? I didn't really ever believe I could have both. I was definitely more focused on money, but I saw I was paying that price, and I'll never go back to that. Never. I won't, regardless, however, whatever,
So guys, what do you think works working together as a couple in this business, and what do you think are the challenges? Because we don't get stuck.
One of us definitely has to be the boss.
We know who that is.
I'll let her think it. Listen, I think you've got to be buddies, right? If you're not going to have fun, everyone has their days, right? But if you can't get excited about, going to the event or going here or going there, and, for so many times I shipped her off, helped her pack her bag and got her to the airport on time. So, and again, I still remember the trip she went on, and she went out, she was with Adam Westwick, who was, he's my buddy. We were tight, and damn, man, they're in Vegas. I'm not there. I'm at home working. That sucked. So I think that desire to want to be together and have fun together, and okay, some days are a little bit more work, but I think that's true. Key. We've always loved health. And, I don't think there's anyone on this call that, doesn't have that innate thing inside them to want, better for them and their health and other people, and genuinely love connecting with other people and seeing them shine, and that's what drives us. I don't think anyone. So
on that, I mean, you guys have had the very classic geometric progression in your business over the last couple of years since some key individuals have come on board, and you've just grown en masse, all of you. What do you guys think are the key characteristics that, because I remember you guys saying to me once, I sort of came up and I congratulated you on Adam and Kira, and you said, well, we just provided them with the avenue. This is not us, this is them. What do you think are the key characteristics of some of these big leaders who are creating things hard and fast? What do you think makes a person like that?
First of all, you only get the rock star when you're ready for the rock star. And that's my ultimate truth. And letting them fly completely independently as quickly as you can. It's that key, and not just say it, but really mean it in the game plan chat of the best gift I can give you in this business is your independence as quickly as possible. I'm going to show you, teach you, let you. But you're going to be absolutely 100% teachable for the next few weeks, and we're all in. And you're really going to know in the first few weeks. There's very few exceptions, honestly, in my opinion. And I know fairly quickly who deserves the extra trip, or, you know, the extra phone calls, or it's who's earning your time, and it's who's putting people in front of you and trusting the system, and getting them their questions answered before they even start. So when they do start, they've drawn a line in the sand. So, you know, if I look at across the 3 lines that are most of my business, 300 club lines, Christine grew up with me. Kate and Anthony, you know, they were a 6-year conversation, and they always had the potential, but it had to be when they were ready. And once we said yes, you know, it's really just 6 months pouring into a leader, and you're going to give them some shortcuts, but it really has got nothing to do with you. You know, when we say, and if you can really believe this, and when you say it often, people's success or non-success has nothing to do with you. I'd love to claim credit for it. I was ready for them, and I had worked for them, and I didn't give up on a bad day. There's certainly parts that I'll totally claim credit for and be really proud about. But people's success in your team or non-success, it's two-sided, right? Because those that don't get going, you can go, awesome, that's got nothing to do with me either. They've got the same, I'm giving them the same steps, the same tools. So, you know, we've all got that. We've all got wonderful clean eating programs. You've got a Start Strong process. You've got the marketing plan. You've got incredible products. So I think it's how quickly do you let them fly? See them as successful from day one. Help them believe, build their own 4 beliefs, and help them believe that they can have anything that they want in this business. See them as way more successful than maybe they are in those first few weeks. And let them stumble and let them make mistakes. That's been a challenge for James and I, that, you know, I'm listening sometimes at the office door, but I just have to shut up. And then he'll come out now and say, you heard that. I'm saying all your things now. That was a good one, wasn't it? And then I want to say to him, yeah, but you've got to get it down to 5 minutes. But now I have to go, yeah, that was amazing. You know, it was only 55 minutes. That's amazing. But we had to find that part of he's a distributor just like me. He needs encouragement and praise and well done, high five, and, you know, a prize on Thursday night. And, you know, and the other thing, you know, to really understand your team, listen to who they are and what they want out of this business, and it's not about you. The quicker, I know that used to drive me freaking mad, people saying that, but once you get that it's not about you.
I think that the thing to point in there too, you know, whether it's Linda's, Adam's, Kira's, whoever's business, it's not their business. We know this. It's a series. It's a team. It's individual. You know, here, and here. I mean, Adam's, you know, got you know, several 50 club frontline leaders, right? Kira just happens to be, you know, one of them and the biggest one. And she's got several 50 club frontline leaders, and in there, Brian's the biggest one. And Brian's 100 club is not, oh my God, Brian got 100 club. Brian's oldest
club
friend,
and, yeah,
you know, got a 39 club, and it's not Jodie. Her dearest friend who lives across the road from her is her best buddy, 24Q, right? So it just continues to break down or build up, if you will. So that's, I take so much comfort in that too, because you never, you know, being stuck, being wherever, not feeling on that, it's so much bigger than us anyway. So, you know, you let people go, and you know, I've worked in sales for 25 years. It's how many people are you talking to? How many people do you talk to? And you guys, knowing how you've made it onto this call, you talk to a lot of people, right? There's no secret sauce in that. You talk to people and you share in your heart, and people will see that. And
that's a really good point that you make. It's never one person. It's never ever one person. And the thing that we decided when we drew a line in the sand to say, you know, we're going all the way with this, was just insane consistency. That's what I will be proud of, that every single Thursday night, whether I wanted to or not, I opened up the house, lit the candles, got out the water jugs, cut up the lemon, put on the happy face, hello, so many nights I didn't want to, that I would just put, I made it 8 o'clock because the kids had to be in bed. This is when he was still travelling. So most Thursday nights he wasn't here either. And I didn't feel like a bunch of strangers in the house. But then I would have my gratitude slap and go, oh, my God, Linda, I used to drive like an hour and a half in the dark up to Mount Tambourine to go present to 5 drunk women that wouldn't even buy a red and green, right? I'm so thankful for those shitty nights. So if I ever get a little lazy or a little complacent, I think, holy crap, you know what? There's 100 people coming out on a Thursday night to some lady's house. They don't even know why they're coming, and they're coming. Like, who am I to even think that this is about me? So, maybe that story helps. Just the consistency has been insane. For people that are getting, and I remember when I came over in the early days, and Nat had 3 times the business to me, and we went through reports, and she was doing 3 times the events. And we went, wow, isn't there something to think about there?
Yeah, there's no secret in it that...
Speaking to more people.
Outside of
she
Linda.
She was literally just doing 3 times more events. I was doing like 1 every 2 weeks, happy with my little results, and then saw that, Nat and Tracy were going here, there and everywhere like 5 times a week. And that's when I just went, wow, okay, that's what the next level, the new standard looks like. So, it just comes back to standards. What standard of results that you want, and what standard of action are you, going to raise for yourself and never be below that? What is the standard? I don't like the word DMO. It does not rock my boat. So what standards do you have for you in your business? What level are you going to employ yourself in your own business? That has more ring to it for me, because it's directly proportional to the amount of results that you want to get.
So Linda and James, do you guys have any kind of non-negotiables? I mean, what I'm hearing is that, it's everyone else's, it's your own business and you do what you want with it, and just know that, success is going to be directly proportional at some point in time. But do you have any kind of big non-negotiables for people to get your time and to get success if they're really wanting it?
Yes, but that came with me being a hard ass and a bad ass. So now I can absolutely demand that. And it's very easy for me to say, I treat myself like I get paid, $10,000 an hour. So they better have done this, this, and this for our 20-minute chat. It's easy for me to say that now, but I used to give my time away. It was embarrassing. It was crazy just how much I used to do that. So now, just watching James.
But here's what I know as well. You can't force that. Right, I've been in 1 or 2 different industries, and you can't do it unless you put in the hours. It's 10,000 hours to become a master, right? You don't know. You can't learn the conversations without having them, right? I remember I worked in this real estate shop, and my boss used to say, "You give your time away too cheap, James. How much is your time worth?" And I'm like, "It's $300 an hour." He says, "Well, you're not charging that." And I'm like, whatever, right? Because I didn't get it, because I had to go out there and knock on the doors and get the no's and do all the rest. So I think that there's no surprise that you pay it at the front end. I've seen Linda have amazing work ethic in this. I've seen Adam have that, right? Just not 1 event, 2, 3 live events and 12 Zoom events a week.
Yeah, we've got 1 more Zoom right now.
So
I'm gonna wrap it
just
up.
Just for all of you listening, it's not you pay. You do it now. You pay it. You learn, and the sooner you can learn, the quicker. It's the easier it is, and probably the easier it is on the home front too, right? To start saying, well, I'm balancing well.
So last minute gold nuggets, guys, because I know you've got to wrap it up. Last minute gold nuggets for these guys who are on the call, who've worked hard this month. Where to moving forward?
Just be obsessed about the word duplication. Is this a high-paying activity? Is this making me money right now? Is this duplicatable? They're 3 mantras that I live by, and 95% of distractions and nonsense and drama or all that stuff, if you're not answering a high yes to it, don't do it. is this duplicatable? Is this making me money right now? Is this a high paying activity? And if it's not, don't do it. Don't do it. There doesn't need to be more Facebook groups and albums and flyers and just it's just all distracting. You don't need more training. It's all distracting. It's just say less to more people, and the person that shares their story the most, that invites and connects and cares, and I don't know if this is for you, I thought of you because the person that does that the most wins. So empower your people to be ignorance on fire and just use those simple steps to begin with. That's my...
I was fortunate enough. I played golf with Elton, Dr. Du Bois, a few weeks ago, and he's a smart fella. And you play golf with someone, you get 5 hours to pick their brains. So he said, go deep for wealth and wide for strength in your business. And I've always heard that from Lauren, from Cheryl: go wide. And to do that, that's frontline. And to do that, that's the 10 seconds of courage, right? Find your 10 seconds of courage, do it, and then it doesn't stop there, right? You do that, you get the convo, you get the Facebook link, you do that, and don't leave it there and celebrate the win. Oh my God, I had that feeling and I broke through. It's like, well, I did that, and now that's just a normal thing, and now I've got to go and follow up on that, and that's how you build the true strength in it, and that you'll go wide. And from everyone I've heard who's made it big in this, that is the key.
Guys, thank you so much for tonight. So appreciate it. I'm just going to open